Top 1, welcome back to more Eastern Investigations 2. Last time we left off... Oh, didn't give you guys sound. Last time we left off, we did the longest thing I've ever done in my life, but now we're going to continue. Outside Grand Tower, temporary film lot. Did you please give it a rest already? The heck? I'm telling y'all, it's best for y'all's sake to come clean. Staff has their lips sealed as the reporters continue their tenacious negotiations. If you're not here to cooperate with the investigation, I must ask you to vacate the premises. Put a sock in it, Copper! Y'all couldn't even stop Mozilla's invasion. Not only did they secretly raise a giant monster, but now the staff is trying to cover it up. Like I said, we haven't been raising any monsters here at the film lot. But ain't just said you done saw Gordy yourself? Sure, I saw it, but it's not like we were keeping it at the film lot. Mind if we butt in? Is it me? Mind if we butt in? Ah, Mr. Edgeworth. And John. Oh, y'all come here to search for the monster too? We're searching for a criminal, not a monster. Lang Z says. The darkness inside a criminal's heart can be likened to a monster. Well, when it comes to killing people, criminals aren't much different from monsters. Agent Lang, this is a problem. I can't let outsiders enter the crime scene. These are all key figures in the case. I'd like them to be here when the investigation resumes. Ooh, that was Lang. Agent Lang, regarding what you said about resuming the investigation, when do you intend to start? We'll start by reviewing the case. Not reviewing. Today, the body of President Huang was found here in the film lot. The president's whereabouts from 2 nights ago are still unknown. Seems he snuck out from under the eyes of his bodyguards and ventured outside. And that night was the last time he was seen alive. When he met with you, Judge Courtney, on the roof of the Grand Tower. So why did you meet with the president? That, I cannot say. You can't tell us, even under suspicion of murder. Can't say? Why not? Miss Courtney, if you don't say anything, you'll only be more suspicious. Huh, she must have a reason to clam up. I think you're somehow involved in the president's assassination. The president's body was only discovered today. That still leaves a blank of 1 whole day after Judge Courtney met with him unaccounted for. Don't be so impatient. We're gonna fill in that blank right here, right now. The evening on that blank day in question is what's important. What happened here last night? So why don't you tell us, John Marsh? Me? We know you were here last night. What? John was here? Between that little Missy's testimony and the footprints we found, we can easily prove it. John, you were rehearsing here last night, right? You were spying on me? I'm sorry. I just came to check up on things. You really shouldn't be staying up so late, you know? Mind your own business. John Marsh, that young lady was worried about you. You will not speak to her like that. Sorry. How many times have I told you to be more mindful of the way you speak? Is it just me, or does Miss Courtney's personality seem kind of different? She seems to be as strict with her own son as she is with those who violate the law. Are you listening to me? And earlier as well. I like how the milk carton's sweating as well. You should always bear that in mind, no matter the occasion. Can we get on with the investigation already? Pardon me. For Judge Courtney to get carried away like that. This must be her motherly side. Agent Lang, do you suspect John? All I want is the truth. Why was the president killed? And I want to know who killed him. I'll do whatever it takes to find out. Seems the president was like family to him. John, would it be alright if we asked you a few questions? Sure, it's fine. I got nothing to hide anyway. John's rehearsal. I wasn't feeling too great during yesterday's shoot, so I made a few bloopers. They're reshooting the scene today, so... Well, I decided to rehearse a little on my own. That's all. I do it all the time. There wasn't anything out of the ordinary. Alright, there we go. You were rehearsing all alone that late at night?
John, when I called you last night, you told me you were at the hotel.
You called him? About what time was that?
I believe it was around 11 p.m. I require him to call me every night, so that's our rule whenever he stays away from home. The truth is, I was at the film lot during that time. So you lied to me. I'm sorry. Miss Courtney sure is angry. I think it's admirable that he practiced on his own, even if he hid it from his mom.
I'm sure she was simply worried. Who knows what could have happened to him, out alone so late at night. And in reality, he did get caught up in yesterday's incident.
But John said there wasn't anything out of the ordinary, right?
Is that really the truth? No, the monster footprints, you fool. You were standing on them. Wouldn't you be like, why are there monster footprints here? There we go. Ah, you're a fool. There wasn't anything out of the ordinary. That's a lie, isn't it? We have evidence right here.
Can that be?
That's right. It's the video you recorded of your performance.
What? You're telling me you have video from last night?
Exactly, and in this video, there's clearly something that is out of the ordinary.
This is a monster's footprint.
Would you say that monster's footprints are commonplace on a film set?
John, why did you conceal this video from us? No reason, really.
Hey, pup, this is no joking matter. You had a reason to hide it, right?
John Marsh, answer him clearly. But Mom...
Well?
I didn't want anyone to see me rehearsing.
In other words, you're embarrassed about others seeing you practice.
Yeah, got a problem with that?
You're saying that's why you hid the evidence.
John! Quit nagging me. You've already busted me. What more do you want? Yeah, the footprints were there, but I just practiced and headed home. How come you're so calm after finding those footprints? It's a monster, you know? A real-life monster! I thought it was just a part of the set. Besides, there's lots of other weird stuff around here, too. He's suspicious, Chief. Kid's really suspicious. You're right. The smell of a scoop stinks to high heaven. Shut up. We're done talking.
We're not done here yet.
What now?
The monster's footprints weren't the only unusual things that happened last night. Besides the monster's footprints, what other unusual thing happened last night? Monster's head fell. A monster's head fell from the roof of that building. Surely you must have known about that.
I don't know anything about it.
Is that true?
I told you, I just practiced a bit and then I went back. I don't know anything about Mozilla's head falling or anything like that. Or do you have evidence to show that I know something?
You just said it yourself. Certainly isn't any evidence of that. It's also possible that it fell after John had already gone back.
If there's no evidence, and like I said, we're done talking.
Seems that John doesn't really want to talk about last night. Could he be hiding something after all?
Wait up.
Agent Lang?
It's as I thought. Thank you, Mr. Prosecutor. This video backs up my logic. Huh? Is there something in the video that's related to the case?
Yeah. Take a good, hard look at the monster's costume in the top left.
Oh, Mozilla costume?
Try comparing it with the one over there right now. It's not open.
It looks like it's just hanging there limply, though. And the zipper on its back is zipped up tightly.
The zipper on its back? Whoa! This discrepancy is...
Yeah, the difference is plain to see. In the video, the zipper is clearly open. That's right. Someone was inside. What?
Mr. Powers, is the costume zipper usually... It's always zipped up tightly when it's not in use.
Mr. Prosecutor, do you remember? My logic from before. 2 nights ago, Courtney pushed the president off the roof and killed him. Afterwards, she snuck into the film lot to hide the body. And here... Wouldn't it be easy to hide a body in a costume or behind all this equipment? Then, all she had to do last night was retrieve the body.
You're saying the body was hidden inside the costume?
Yeah, that's right. Judge Courtney, 2 nights ago, you pushed the president off the roof of the tower. You then hid the body inside the monster costume. I did no such thing. Say what you want, but you're the only one who could have done it.
That should have already been proven impossible. The film lot was locked at the time. Judge Courtney could not have entered this place.
What if there is an accomplice?
What?
I'll tell you my reasoning, so listen up.
You're gonna say that John helped, right?
The president was pushed off the roof. John was waiting at the film lot. If John was an accomplice, the problem with the locks would be resolved. The 2 of them then hid the president's body inside that monster costume over there.
You think this crime had such an elaborate plan?
To take the life of a nation's president. An elaborate plan is to be expected, don't you think?
John would never take part in such a crime.
You're the one being suspected. Your words don't carry much weight.
I wouldn't think those 2 had sufficient motive for something like this, though.
Well, maybe they had a motive that we didn't know about. You were the last one to meet with the president, and you're still keeping the details secret. Don't you think it's only natural that you're being suspected?
Judge Courtney, is there no way for you to tell us your secret?
My apologies. I just cannot, no matter what. However, when the time I can talk about it comes, I will surely let you know. So, if you could please...
Believe you? Is that what you wanted to say? That's what all criminals say. And you, pup. If you've got an explanation, hurry up and spit it out.
And do nothing. That's all I'm saying.
Both mother and son won't talk. You're still gonna defend them like this?
It's true, Judge Courtney's actions are a mystery. However, we still don't know whether or not that ties in with a motive for murder.
Yeah, that's right. Their motive for murder can wait. For now, let's talk about the situation surrounding the crime. And the fact that these 2 are the only ones who could have done it. Rebuttal. Let's go.
In the video, we cannot see the inside of the costume, so can you really say for certain that the body was placed inside?
Yeah, I'll give you that much. In that case, why don't we try examining it? The inside of that costume. There might be some traces left inside.
Mr. Powers, may we examine the inside of the costume? Sure, go ahead. But it might be kind of stinky, because I sweat a lot in there.
This is
incredibly dirty. That's strange. We always make sure to clean it after using it, so that the sweat doesn't damage the costume.
Isn't this just proof that someone besides you used this costume? I'd say that dirt from the body probably got into the costume.
President's body did fall on top of the monster's footprint. That must be where the dirt came from.
You satisfied now? There's dirt inside the costume. It must have gotten there when the body was hidden inside.
It's the same dirt from the gloves. It's throwing me off. There we go. Dirt got onto the costume when the body was hidden inside it. Is that really the case?
You have a problem with that?
There's a fair amount of dirt inside the front of the costume.
Yeah, this is a lot of dirt.
However, I would like you to focus on the state of the body, on the state the body is in. It's lying on top of the dirt, and yet there's no dirt on the front of the body. If the body really was inside the costume, then it's strange that the front of the body isn't stained with more dirt.
Ugh. Well then, how would you explain it? How did the dirt get inside the costume?
From the video footage, it's very likely that someone was inside the costume. But just who could it have been?
Where have I seen this?
What's the matter, Kay?
I just feel like I remember seeing something like that. Something that looked like this dirt somewhere before. But where was it? There were these bits of gray fragments mixed in with the dirt.
Gray fragments? It does seem to be something other than normal dirt mixed in.
Something must have gotten stuck to it. And lots of it, I might add.
Something got stuck to it. This may merit a closer look. Where do we see dirt that looks like what's stuck on the inside of the costume? The gloves. This dirt has some gray bits mixed into it.
Huh? And what of it?
We found an item belonging to a certain man that was covered in the same type of dirt. That is to say, these gloves. Those dirt stains certainly look the same, but tell me, just what exactly is this gray substance? This gray substance is... concrete. Oh, yeah. This gray substance must be fragments of concrete.
You mean the stuff that was scattered around the monster's footprints?
Exactly. Meanwhile, who do these gloves, which are stained with the same kind of dirt, belong to?
Oh, I remember. We found it at Blaze's place.
Earlier today, we went to Blaze's garage. There, we discovered these dirt-stained gloves. Come to think of it, there were also hammers, shovels, and other tools placed inside as well. Why would mechanics' gloves, intended to be used on machines, be covered in dirt? If we broke the concrete with a hammer, and then dug into the soil with the shovel, then it's only natural for dirt like that to get on the gloves.
Then maybe...
Yes, the true nature of the monster's footprints has been made clear. It's possible that these footprints were dug up by Blaze the Best himself. It's possible? Huh. It's possible, you say? Please, do enlighten me. Because I honestly have no clue. Why on earth would he do something like that? Why did he make the monster footprints? Thinking about it, the answer must be... He's digging something up. Why would he? He's not burying. It's possible he was digging something up. It probably went something like this. Last night, at this spot, there was something that Blaze needed to dig up. For that reason, he broke the lock on the back door and sneaked into the film lot. Using the hammer and the shovel, he set to work. This song is rocking, I love it. He placed the items he dug into his bag, but before he could fill in the holes...
Ah, that's when John came to practice.
Exactly. Blaze panicked and had no choice but to hide himself in the Mozilla costume nearby. To think you were to do so much from just a pair of dirt-stained gloves. However, all of this is merely a possibility. There's still no proof that he was the one hiding in that costume. For all we know, he might have left the scene once he finished digging. On the contrary, such proof does exist and can be seen in the video. When this video was recorded, Blaze was definitely inside the film lot. What? I can't blame Agent Lang for not noticing the difference between the current film lot and the one in John's video, along with the state of Blaze's garage. It's all too clear that Blaze was still here. What proves that Blaze was still at the film lot when this video was recorded? I think it's the bag, because that's been bothering me for a while now. Like, this bag isn't here anymore. Yep. This bag placed near the costume. There was an identical one in Blaze's garage. First, the dirt on the gloves, and now the bag. It seems there is a connection. Cares gloves. Huh, okay. And that's my proof. Blaze was inside the costume. Ergo, the president's body could not have been hidden inside it. Ah! Seems I was able to refute Agent Lang's reasoning.
Someone needs to go investigate Blaze's house right away, pal. We need to know what was inside that bag.
Yes, sir!
Y'all pop down and listen up. Y'all just been saying whatever works best for y'all.
And the noisy one returns.
That there's the footprints of the mighty Mozilla. They ain't just some random holes dug up by that old coot.
Huh. I believe the true nature of these footprints has already been proven quite logically.
Logic schmogic, I ain't buying it. Say what you want, but I know what I saw, and I saw Mozilla.
Is she referring to how she saw Mozilla out the window on the Grand Tower? Preposterous.
Partner journalist, so we ain't having none of it.
That statement is an insult to journalists everywhere.
Ah, that's right. There's more to them monsters than just those footprints. I remember hearing that Sonny over there was seen with the monster earlier. I reckon that gal over there said she witnessed it herself.
When these two are together, all meaningful talk grinds to a halt.
If we really knew just what the monster really was, I think those two would quiet down. Mr. Edgeworth, isn't there anything you can do?
the monster's true identity. We don't have much choice. Let's see what we can do.
Isn't there something y'all ain't telling us about the monster? Nicole, ask him. Ask him right now.
Please settle down. Regarding the true identity of that monster, I already know what it is.
What'd you say?
That's right. The video John recorded provided the hint that I needed.
What you talking about?
Miss Nichols saw Gordy. She went to check on John's practice. At that time, she mistook something for Gordy. The monster can be seen in this photograph.
What? Isn't that just some plain old souvenir photo? Y'all don't really think you can pull the wool over the eyes of a pro like me, do ya?
What did Miss Nichols really see when she mistook for Gordy? It was the camera. Naturally, Gordy's true identity was this camera crane.
What?
The video John recorded was shot from fairly high up. A shot from this position would be impossible without a camera crane.
But there ain't no way Miss Nichols would mistake a camera crane for Gordy.
I wonder about that, Miss Nichols.
Yes?
Earlier, you said the prescription for your glasses didn't match your eyesight anymore, correct?
Yes, lately it seems like my eyesight has suddenly gotten a lot worse.
So would you say that you weren't able to see Gordy very clearly in the dark?
That's right. Its silhouette was all I could make out. But remember what Miss Nichols said? And I quote, its skin was really scaly, almost like a reptile. Camera cranes ain't got no flesh on them, let alone skin. It's just a bare steel frame.
It is certainly true, at least in the case of this photo. However, last night it did have skin.
You're just doing whatever you can to get in the way of our big scoop, ain't ya?
That was not my intention. But since I've come this far, it's time to put an end to your nonsense. Gordy's skin is right before our very eyes. This is the skin of Gordy that Miss Nichols saw. It's the blanket thing. I don't know I forget what it's called. As Miss Nichols stated in her testimony earlier, it looked like it was going to rain last night. While it never actually rained, John still covered the camera crane with a rainproof sheet, which to Miss Nichols looked like a monster's skin.
What? You gotta be kidding me.
Isn't that right, John?
Man, you saw through it all. Not bad, old man.
Unfortunately, the Gordy that Miss Nichols saw was nothing more than an illusion.
Not again. Looks like my dream has been shriveled up and died once again. Mentor. Seems like things have finally settled down. I really thought the boy was hiding something from me. Guess I had it all wrong.
Now that we figured out the true form of the monster, everyone seems refreshed.
Actually, there's two people here who are totally bummed out.
Agent Lang! The report is in, sir. We got the results of President Huang's autopsy.
Good, show it to me. Contusions and bone fractures found across the body, resulting from tremendous pressure. This was the cause of death. In other words, he was crushed to death.
I thought as much.
Okay. The yellow stain on his chest is currently under investigation. But it seems that gunpowder residue was found on his right hand.
Sunflower residue? I didn't know the president was into gardening.
No, gunpowder residue. Traces of it are left behind when a gun is fired. Since it has been found on his right hand, it's possible that the president fired a gun.
A gun, huh? Well, we didn't find any guns when we investigated this area.
Unexplained gunpowder residue? I'll have to look that over in the autopsy report later. Now then, Agent Lang, seems we have our answer. The president did not die from falling off the roof of the Grand Tower. Rather, he died from being crushed on a Mozilla's head.
I can't deny it. Looks like your logic was right after all.
This means the suspicion surrounding Miss Courtney should be cleared up, right?
Yes, not only the cause of death, but the time of death proves her innocence as well. Judge Courtney met with the president 2 nights ago. Let me just check that actually real quick. Gunpowder residue was found on his right hand. The yellow stain is currently being analyzed. Time of death, April 5th, 11 p.m. Okay. However, according to the autopsy report, the time of death was around 11 p.m. last night. Muzilla's head also fell last night. It matches up perfectly.
That's a relief.
Isn't it a bit too early to be relieved? Agent Lang? The president died after being crushed by the Muzilla's head. That I will admit. But the problem is, who was responsible for the falling head? Muzilla's head fell last night, and last night, the one who was at the film lot was...
What are you saying? Surely, you're not implying...
That's right. You killed him, didn't you? John Marsh. Why are we not thinking of Blaze the Best? That pup is hiding something. He was at the scene where the body was discovered last night. He also saw the footprints. And despite that, he still claims to know absolutely nothing about the incident. Isn't that a bit too convenient? These footprint-shaped holes have not been proven to be related to the case. Just because he saw the holes doesn't necessarily mean he's involved in the incident. You sure about that? Take a look at the pup's face. He looks pretty shaken up to me. It looks like he's hit the mark, but John doesn't want to talk about it. If he doesn't feel like talking, then I have an idea of my own. Let's check out the tape. Agent Lang, what is your intention? The police have a device that lets you analyze the video footage up close and personal.
Agent Lang, you would suspect John enough to go that far.
As long as John's lips are sealed, this may be the only way for us to get closer to the truth. Detective Gumshoe, if I'm not mistaken, you have the device with you, correct?
Mr. Analysis is ready to go, sir.
Now we're talking.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, would you please perform the video analysis for us?
She wants me to do it.
Who knows what kind of faults that Wolfman will find in it.
This isn't exactly my strong suit, but I suppose I have no choice. Are there any new clues shown on the video? Oh, hello there. This is...
What's the matter? I want to see too.
Hey, what's wrong? Show it to me.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, I request you submit the evidence to the court.
Please take a look at the top right corner of the zoomed-in video. This person is... The president!
Impossible!
Huh?
No way!
Seems we finally found it at last. The evidence that points to the true killer. This video places John at a major disadvantage.
You're wrong! That's not right! I didn't know anything about this!
That's not gonna cut it. It's clear that you and the victim were together at the same place where his body was later found. John Marsh, there's no doubt. You killed the president.
No, this can't be. Why? Why would you? John, please don't tell me. Did you really kill the president? Mr. Edgeworth, is this really decisive evidence?
Mr. Prosecutor, looks like even you can't object to this. That pup said he didn't know anything, right? And yet, the president's right here in the video. John, what are you hiding?
John, please tell us the truth. The truth is, it's all my fault. John Marsh, what did you do? Muzilla's head falling was all my fault. While I was setting up the equipment on the roof, I used the heater. After that, I went down to practice, but I forgot to turn it off. Then my mom called me, so I left the film lot. When I came back to the lot, after the phone call was over, Muzilla's head that was on the roof had fallen. And right next to it was the president, lying dead on the ground. How could that be?
I see. There are indeed traces that something had caught fire on the rooftop.
It was just a small fire, so I was able to put it out all by myself. So, the president's death was John's fault? But wouldn't that make this an accident, sir?
And then, what did you do with the fallen head?
I took it apart, brought the pieces up to the roof, and put it back together.
So you put out the fire and even put the fallen head back on the roof, which means you were hiding evidence. We can't be having that, you naughty little pup.
I didn't do it on purpose. I really just did forget to turn off the heater.
When the legs broke, the stand would have tilted, and if Muzilla's head was on top of the stand,
It would have fallen off. So, the head fell out because of the fire.
yes, and if that's the case, I also have a pretty good idea what caused the fire. There's a flammable can next to the heater. It seems someone is lacking in safety awareness.
Was it really just an accident?
If that's the truth, then what was the president doing here?
I don't know. There was no one else around when I was there.
You expect me to believe that? The president would have just come to a place like this without a reason, you know? Indeed, the president's reason for coming here is still a huge mystery. 2 nights ago, he met with Judge Courtney on the roof of the Grand Tower. And last night, he was here at the film lot. Didn't he meet with John? I'll have to listen to John's testimony very carefully. Rebuttal. What was the state of the body?
I didn't get a good look, because it was dark.
He's suddenly becoming as quiet as a mouse.
I guess John doesn't really want to remember anything about the body.
Is that the only reason why he's gone so quiet? Should I press him for more details? You didn't get a good look. Then how did you know he was dead?
That's... well...
He's clearly shaken. He must be hiding something. Wouldn't you normally call for help if you see someone collapse on the ground? However, you did nothing of the sort.
But he was already dead.
Is that so? You seem quite certain that the president was already dead. Now, is there a reason for that, I wonder?
The guy was collapsed on the ground, and right next to him was the fallen monster head. I'm not stupid. It wasn't hard to imagine what happened.
You can imagine whatever you want, but there was no way for you to know that he was dead. You actually checked to make sure the president was dead, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right. I was scared, but I got up close to the body and checked to see if he was breathing.
I thought as much. However, why would he hide that? There must be a reason. Please tell me the state of the body at that time.
At first, I didn't know he was dead.
I would have realized sooner if there hadn't been any blood. If there had been any blood, would have.
But there wasn't a single drop, and his clothes were completely spotless.
Oh, there we go.
Either way, he wasn't breathing. That's how I knew he was already dead.
Would you please append those statements to your testimony? I didn't know right away that he was dead. There was no blood and his clothes were spotless. There we go. His clothes were spotless.
Yeah, that's right. You got a problem with it, old man?
John, it is painfully obvious that you are desperately trying to hide something from me.
What are you going on about? I'm not hiding anything.
You are hiding something about this yellow stain on the president's clothes, correct? Why did you leave it entirely out of your testimony? The fact that you made no mention of it only serves to cast more suspicion upon yourself.
That's because...
I hope you have a convincing explanation. Judge Courtney.
Allow me to explain.
Why are you...
The yellow stain left on the president's chest is almost certainly Lion Lily pollen.
Lion Lily?
When I met with the president on the roof of the Grand Tower 2 nights ago, I brought him a bouquet of lion lilies. Lion lilies are beautiful flowers with stunning golden petals. Some of the police from the lilies, some of the pollen... Wow, Zach. Some of the pollen from the lilies must have gotten on the president's suit. Huh? But... I didn't see any lilies on the security footage, though. They were simply obscured by the president's body.
Why did you bring a bouquet?
That... I cannot say.
Hey, you're keeping way too many secrets. You won't tell us why you met with the president or the reason you brought him flowers.
My apologies. However, I did give him the bouquet. That much is true.
But when the president's body was discovered, we didn't find any flowers.
I honestly do not know how that could be.
Ha! Hey, Miss Judge. All your answers have been too vague. You can't say this and you don't know that. Do you accept flimsy testimony like that in your trials?
Hey, cut it out! John, I
Threw the flowers away. You threw them away? So there were flowers near the body when you found it?
Yeah, that's right. They were right on top of the president's body.
They had been crushed as flat as pancakes. I thought,
I see, so the flowers were squashed by Mozilla's head too.
and a large amount of pollen got stuck to the president's suit. That seems to be the gist of it. However, why did you go out of your way to dispose of the flowers?
No reason.
So John's not going to tell us anything either.
I guess mother and son both have a lot of secrets, huh? That is not true. At the very least, I can tell you why John threw away those flowers. Huh? John, you saw me leaving the house with those flowers in hand, did you not? I get it. John saw the flowers and thought of his mom.
He threw them away in order to protect Judge Courtney from being suspected.
That's not true. You're all wrong.
That was his worst lie yet. Okay, bouquet jotted down in my organizer. Privacy notes updated my organizer.
I often decorate our house with those flowers. The bouquet must have reminded him of me.
So the pup just happened to find the flowers from his mother's bouquet on top of the body. That's why he threw them away and kept silent about the body. Ha! There's a tiny little story. That's a tiny little story if I've ever heard one.
And what's wrong with that? I suppose you prefer untiny, messy stories, Agent Lang.
Don't tell me you've forgotten already, Missy. This pup confessed that he caused the monster's head to fall last night.
Oh, that's true, but...
He's currently the only suspect in the president's murder.
It is true that there are many reasons to suspect John. However, there is someone other than John who is far more suspicious.
What'd you say?
John himself was kidnapped by that very person not too long ago.
And we rescued him from the refrigerated warehouse near the harbor, pal.
A refrigerated warehouse?
That's right, pal. The refrigeration wasn't turned on, so he wasn't about to freeze to death. But if he hadn't yelled out for help, we would have never found him. Once the sleeping drugs wore off, he was finally able to call out for help.
Sleeping drugs? Huh. If I recall correctly, when you were kidnapped.
That's right. There was a bottle lying on the floor of the refrigerator warehouse. I was thinking I think it was the same thing that was used on me not too long ago. The Sleepy ZZZ stuff. It's powerful.
How about it, Agent Lang? John is clearly a victim. There's a mastermind at work behind the scenes in this case.
I don't know anything about this so-called mastermind. You say they were here last night.
I still don't know for sure yet.
Ha! It's not like you to be so vague, Mr. Prosecutor.
Indeed, I still don't have any evidence that ties the mastermind to this murder. Is there someone else? Yes! Is anyone else? Yes! Oh my god! Come on. Come on. Yep. Think about it. Come on. You got it, Edgeworth. You got it. That's it!
As I thought, in the end that pup is our only suspect.
Isn't there one more suspect, Agent Lang?
What's this?
Didn't we prove it earlier? Last night, there was one more person here.
Blaze the Best. You're saying he's the one who did it?
Last night, John was not alone. Blaze the Best was here too. Shouldn't we consider him to be a new suspect?
Blaze the Best killed the president?
It's entirely possible.
Blaze the Best. It can't be. The same guy from 12 years ago?
12 years ago? It keeps popping up.
Well, a lot has changed. It all happened over 12 years ago. Back then, he and my old man were close friends, and our clan protected the president's life.
Lang, don't tell me you're the one from 12 years ago.
You got it. Ain't this nice? Now you're finally going to prison, where you belong. 12 years is a long time coming from a suspended sentence, don't you agree?
Agent Lang, what happened 12 years ago?
Nothing that concerns you.
On the contrary, it might just have some sort of connection with this case.
Huh. And I suppose you have some proof, Mr. Prosecutor. Show me evidence that there's a connection between this case and the one 12 years ago. Evidence, you say? If you don't have any evidence, then there's no point in talking about it.
Is there any evidence that connects this case with what happened 12 years ago? The letter? Yeah, okay. This letter was sent to Jill Crane, who was murdered 2 days ago. Although the sender is currently unknown. Here, it is written as follows. Please get revenge for 12 years ago.
What? 12 years ago?
That's not all. Take a look at this as well. This is a report written by Patricia Rowland to Blaze DeBest regarding Knightley. Please read this part here.
That thing you laid to rest near the flower bed 12 years ago.
Agent Lang, something big is happening here. Jill Crane's murder 2 days ago, and now, the President's murder today. There has to be some connection there. And the key to solving it lies in what happened 12 years ago, does it not?
You're asking me to reopen the old wounds of the Lang clan.
Agent Lang, I beg of you. Who was that just now? Shifu!
You guys, what are you all doing here?
We followed you here, Shifu. We heard that Shifu was investigating the incident from 12 years ago.
You idiots! I'm not your boss anymore. Get back to your own posts.
Sir, we can't do that.
What'd you say? Are you disobeying my order?
Shifu, we also beg of you, reinvestigate the SS-5 incident from 12 years ago. None of us could ever forget that case. We know you feel the same way, Shifu. Agent Lang, even your former subordinates desire to reinvestigate the case.
And you think you can solve the mysteries of that case?
Perhaps I can, with your help.
I got it. I accept your invitation.
Shifu! Shifu! Shifu!
Now then, with that decided, I guess it's my turn to shine.
Okay.
We're investigating a case from the past, right? And guess what the best tool for that is?
The little Mr. Thief.
Right. If we have the case files from the past case, I can recreate it.
Unfortunately, I don't have the case files.
Huh? What do you mean?
Access to those case files is restricted. It's being treated as highly classified information.
Why is that?
I don't know, but it seems like there were a lot of things that they wanted to keep hidden. Even what I know is limited to what was published in the newspapers back then.
That will not be a problem. In any case, please tell us what you know.
Sure. The SS-5 incident. The incident occurred on a winter day 12 years ago. It was the 10th of February. The police department in this country received a call from a group of kidnappers. We kidnapped President Huang, they said.
Kidnapped?
The SS-5 incident was the case of President Huang's kidnapping. They demanded a ransom of $100 million.
$100 million? Wait, how much is that?
Such a large amount, she's having trouble visualizing it.
That night, my old man was the last person to meet with the president. They were together at the Zhangfa embassy until midnight on February 10th. After that, no one knows what the president was doing up until he was kidnapped. With the president's life at stake, the Zhangfa government frantically gathered the money. After that, the ransom was delivered, and the president was returned safe and sound.
So, President Huang has been the president since 12 years ago? That's really amazing.
Well, being in office for so long is just a small part of how amazing the man is.
Lang seemed a bit happy when he said that. And what happened to the kidnappers?
Well, a top-secret covert investigation was carried out, and a secret trial was held.
A trial? Does that mean the suspect was caught?
The suspect was
Patricia Rowland.
Then
the reason you came to the prison a few days ago.
Yeah, I was put on extended leave from Interpol. So I decided to go back and reinvestigate what happened 12 years ago. First, I had to get a look at the face of my target.
So the trial 12 years ago ended with a not guilty verdict.
Yeah. Back then, my old man was in charge of every aspect of the president's security. He took responsibility for the kidnapping and was relieved of his position as bodyguard. But he continued to investigate as a regular police officer until he finally found the culprit. and it was none other than Patricia Rowland. There was no way she could be innocent. However, the result was a not guilty verdict. In the end, the case went unsolved. Crushed in both body and soul, my old man resigned from the police. What was the basis for arresting Patricia Rowland? There was a lot of evidence. At least, that's what I think. But I can't see those documents for myself. So that's where my story ends.
What should we do? There's only this much information. Even the little thief would have a hard time producing a recreation.
Is there really nothing we can do? Oh.
Looks like you could use some help.
Who's that? I knew it. Franziska.
And Mr. Shield, too.
We finished up with the trial and finally managed to catch up with you guys.
Here, take this.
This is...
Ah, it's the case files for the SS-5 incident, sir.
Oh!
When Roland mentioned 12 years ago during the trial, it caught my interest. Let's check it real quick.
The president of Zhengfa, Dinjuan Huang, was kidnapped on February 10, 12 years ago. Kidnappers demanded a ransom of $100 million. Dai Long Lang confirmed that on the evening of the incident, the president was at Zhengfa embassy until midnight. Prosecutor blazed the best. Suspect, Patricia Rowland. Oh.
I looked into it immediately and got in touch with Interpol.
I expected no less from you, Franziska.
Don't get the wrong idea, Maz Edgeworth. I didn't prepare these documents for you, the former prosecutor. I did it for the sake of the investigator. I did it for the sake of the investigator taking up the case his father left behind.
Sis. But I thought information on the SS-5 incident was restricted to the public.
That restriction was placed by the prosecutor in charge of the case, Blaze the Best.
Blaze the Best with the prosecutor in charge? Him?
However, as a result of the trial just now, Blaze's authority has been revoked. It's all thanks to his son.
Sebastian. By bringing down his father, the door to this past case has been opened.
Prosecutor DeBest is currently wrapping things up in Patricia Rowland's trial. He told me to relay this message to you. Leave Pops and his cohorts to me. You guys just take care of the case on your end.
Heh. He's become quite reliable, right before our very eyes.
Truly. Alrighty then. God, that just... something about that story just brings a smile to my face. You know, it's like, we saw him at his absolute worst, and now he's like, gotten so good. He's overcome... Yeah, wow. That's awesome. Sebastian turned out to be probably my favorite character in this game. Holy crap. This is perfect. Now we have the files, just leave the recreation to me.
Indeed. Well then, let us begin. According to these documents, it appears that the incident took place right in front of the Tower Plaza.
Well, let's head to the plaza right away.
Oh, we're still going, okay. I don't want to play another 2-hour episode, please. Come on. Okay, would you please activate the little Mr. Thief?
Right. These case files, recreating everything should be a snap. Where should I start?
Where indeed, according to these documents, it seems that there was a witness to the kidnapping of the president. A freelance journalist by the name of Jack Cameron. However, Jack Cameron. Jack Hammering? I don't know. He happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time and was murdered by the culprit. So that would mean the place he saw the president at was here.
Here? At the Grand Tower?
No, the Grand Tower was only built around a year ago, okay? Before that, this place contained mostly old abandoned buildings. However, 12 years ago, this place was... Ha! Now you're finally talking about some stuff that I know. Yeah, 12 years ago, at this very spot was... the Happy Family Home.
What's that, pal?
It was a place where children who had lost their parents could live. Or to put it simply, it was an orphanage. So the president was kidnapped at that orphanage. And the head of that facility at the time was Patricia Rowland, the Apparently, Roland always referred to it as her home.
Seems that suspicion would naturally fall upon her.
Patricia Roland, Blaze Best, and President Huang. The darkness that remains from the SS-5 incident still casts a shadow on the present case. Okay, I'd like you to input the investigation data from Jack Cameron's murder case. We can probably assume that he was killed by one of the kidnappers.
So we solved the murder case, we'll know who the kidnappers were, right?
Precisely, I'm counting on you. Brrr.
What the heck is this? Everything's green.
I've come to expect such reactions. This is a recreation of the grounds of the facility that stood here 12 years ago. Based on the documents from the police investigation.
Recreate the scene to show what it looked like when the police arrived at 7 a.m. the next day.
It appears a fair amount of snow is piled up here. Yeah, I heard that the footprints in the snow were prime pieces of evidence. The snow fell during the day on the day of the incident. So the snow only fell before the crime took place. Which means the footprints wouldn't have been erased by any further snow. I must make sure to pay close attention to these footprints. Investigation. Alright, we're going on. These footprints stop near the body.
They must be Mr. Cameron's footprints. Sure, some big feet. They look like a size 11. According to the data, his shoes match these footprints.
Footprints here seem to lead to and from the body.
These footprints were believed to be the culprits. The shoe size is about a size 7. It's fairly average. Seems we won't be able to tell who the culprit is from these footprints.
So this is the eyewitness of the president's kidnapping. Jack Cameron. What exactly did he witness?
Recreate the state of his body based on the photos taken by the police.
It appears he was struck in the head from behind.
The murder weapon was a brick, right? It looks like the ones from this garden.
The blood that flowed from his head has splattered all over the surroundings.
Here, take this. It's Mr. Cameron's autopsy report.
Bludgeoned to death, February 10th. Or also inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny.
The yellow flower has fallen here. In the language of flowers, it means a stolen treasure.
Okay, please stop making things up. Still, this flower seems to be a different variety from the ones growing nearby.
Well then, why is it in a place like this?
This bothers me a little. We should examine the flower bed itself after this.
I knew it. Someone must have stolen this from somewhere and brought it here.
Okay.
And in the language of flowers, this means an angry prosecutor.
I assume this is the victim's cell phone.
That's right. Apparently Mr. Cameron gave his eyewitness testimony over the cell phone.
What do you mean by over the cell phone?
After Cameron found the president, it seems that he called his girlfriend. But she didn't answer the phone, so Cameron left a message on her answering machine. The tape's in the case files too. You want to hear it?
Please. Hello, Jill? Oh, what? Oh. Are you asleep already? I'm in front of the facility now, but something's not right. President Huang is here of all places. What's more, crap, the light just went off. I can barely see a thing now. I can't believe it, but it almost looks like he's being kidnapped. I thought I'd let you know. Ooh. What was that sound at the end? It seems he was attacked while he was still on the phone.
Agent Lang, may I ask, what was the name of Miss Cameron's beloved?
I'm pretty sure I heard her name was Jill Crane.
So, it was true. Did you say Jill?
This was why she was seeking revenge for 12 long years.
The feelings and the items Miss Crane inherited from her beloved brought her to the auction. She'd come to exact revenge on the conductor, Blaze. But Miss Crane tried to get revenge on Blaze, right?
She may have wanted to get revenge on him for covering up the kidnapping case. But perhaps she thought Blaze himself was the kidnapper. Huh. The victim was carrying a camera.
Oh, according to the case files, it seems he only managed to take a single photo. Here it is.
This is...
Isn't that the president?
He's being held at gunpoint. This must be the scene the victim witnessed.
So the person in the coat must be the kidnapper.
Indeed, seems like some sort of disguise. The logic of Agent Lang's father is correct. Then this person should be Patricia Rowland.
But why is there only one photo?
Perhaps he was killed before he could take any more. This is the brick that was used as a murder weapon.
You can find bricks like this all over the garden. They must have used them as a weapon.
Jack Cameron was a freelance journalist. He was killed because he witnessed the president's kidnapping.
The blood really stands out in the recreation. It's giving me the heebie-jeebies.
Even in the original photo, it looks brutal enough. A lot of blood was spilled. The back of his head is covered in blood. That must be where all the blood spilled out from.
According to the autopsy report, he was struck in the back of the head with a brick.
Indeed, it's likely that the killer approached Mr. Cameron from behind. Is the victim holding something in his right hand?
That's also written in the case files. Seems he was holding on to a button.
A button? Did he tear it off the culprit's clothes? Bloodstained button. Okay. Flower bed.
According to the data, this facility had 3 gardens. And each of these gardens contained 3 flower beds.
The way these flower beds are lined up. Have I seen this arrangement somewhere before?
Since it was during the winter, there were no flowers in bloom. What a shame.
Oh! It's the 3 footprints. What? What is going on? What's this yellow flower?
Huh? Why is there a single flower here? That is a lion lily. It is a very rare type of lily.
Did you say lion lily?
That's the flower Miss Courtney gave to the president.
What's it doing here? Could it be just a coincidence?
If I recall, the lion lily originates from Asia. In the language of flowers, it means the bond between parent and child.
I never knew you were so familiar with flowers.
That much is common sense. You're simply lacking in your studies, Miles Edgeworth.
This has mostly melted, but it appears to be a snowman.
It has a scarf and a hat. It must have melted since it was dressed so warmly. Poor thing even lost one of the buttons that was used for its eye.
The temperature reaches its lowest point at dawn. Perhaps it would have refrozen later.
Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Once a snowman melts, even if it freezes up again, it becomes an iceman instead of a snowman.
What? Is that what she was expecting me to say? Wait, we just said it lost a button. Come on. I forgot. 3 footprints. I forgot I had this already. Flower beds. Perhaps this is the true nature of the monster's footprints.
True nature?
Compare the positions of the 3 footprints and the 3 flower beds on the left.
Ah!
The exposed areas of dirt match the area where the flower beds were.
So Blaze dug holes in front of where each of the 3 flower beds used to be.
Exactly. Now why would he do such a thing? He hid evidence there, didn't he? I believe we have a piece of evidence that tells us why. Why did Blaze dig holes in the ground near the flower beds? The report from Patricia Rowland to Blaze the best. It said something was laid to rest in front of the flower bed.
So Blaze was following Miss Rowland's instructions to dig it up? But why would he dig up 3 holes?
The report didn't state which of the 3 flower beds the item was in front of.
Oh, so Blaze didn't know exactly where to dig. That's why he had to dig up all 3 spots.
Most likely, yes. I'm sure Blaze himself was none too happy about that.
He went through all that trouble. I wonder what he was trying to dig up.
Three flower beds. And snow. Agent Lang, what's the matter? Something strange. I wasn't able to read the SS-5 incident case files until now, since Blaze had all access to that information restricted. Yeah, that's right. And yet, I feel like I've seen this exact scene somewhere before. What do you mean? Where did I see this? If I could just remember. He looks deep in thought. I should leave him alone for a while. This pillar appears to be burnt.
According to the files, it seems there was a fire on the evening of the incident.
A fire?
Let's see here. Huh? It says that one of the children of the orphanage spilled kerosene and set it on fire as a prank.
I guess that kid had far too much energy. And thanks to that, we can't make out any of the footprints near the main hall. Fire. Okay. Fire! And there we go. Okay. We've learned pretty much all that we can about the situation at the time of the murder.
Oh, in that case, is there another scene you'd like to recreate?
Yes. Would you do the honors? I would like you to recreate the scene when the victim witnessed the president's kidnapping.
Right, I'll recreate the scene based on Mr. Cameron's photo.
Beep, 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 beep. How do you only have to push it like 4 times? I'm confused. It's pretty awesome. Mr. Cameron is standing in the middle of the flower beds.
And the president and his kidnappers are standing on the road.
My old man based his initial investigation on this man's eyewitness testimony. As a result, it led him to believe that the kidnapping and this facility were related. And that's how he came to suspect the head of the orphanage, Patricia Rowland. Yeah. But in court, Blaze DeBest treated this testimony as if it meant nothing. Why would you do that? The president and his kidnapper were not standing inside the orphanage grounds, so a connection between the orphanage and the kidnapping was difficult to prove.
You see, it's not like they were seen inside the orphanage, after all.
No matter how much evidence the detectives gathered at the crime scene, it doesn't mean squat if the prosecution won't use it in court. Blaze DeBest had some kind of connection with Patricia Rowland. I figured they had some kind of deal going on.
In other words, you think that Blaze was one of the kidnappers?
However, your father was convinced that Patricia Rowland was the culprit. Your father was a highly capable investigator, I presume. Might he have had some other basis for his conclusions, besides the eyewitness testimony? Yeah, I figured he did, but I had no idea what it was. My old man never really talked much about this case. Agent Lang's father, Dai Long Lang. President Huang's most trusted confidant. The truth he discovered was suppressed by Blaze DeBest. First, we must find the hidden truth. I won't rest until I've suspected every suspicious nook and cranny.
About this snowman. When we recreated the scene where Mr. Cameron was killed, it had already melted. Its scarf was all soggy and one of its button eyes was missing.
Indeed, at this stage it appears that most of its original form was still intact. Although, there's one spot that looks unnaturally lacking.
Poor thing, I bet some naughty kid must have plucked it off. Although, from a thief's perspective, that kid does have some promise.
Was it plucked off by one of the children at the orphanage? No. Perhaps it was taken by an entirely different person altogether. Oh, there we go. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Why, yes it is, Edgeworth, because you can go. This snowman, wouldn't you say it's missing something?
Ah,
Its right eye is missing.
Precisely, and what's more, that missing eye happens to be in our possession.
The button that Mr. Cameron was holding on to. It's got the exact same design as the snowman's left eye.
If we assume this button was indeed the snowman's eye, a huge contradiction arises. If this button is the snowman's eye, what contradiction arises? The location of the victim, yeah. The victim was holding on to the button. Furthermore, the button was stained with blood. In other words, he grabbed the button after he was attacked. For example, if we were to picture it in this way, after being struck on the back of the head, Mr. Cameron lost his balance. As he was falling, he reached out his hand towards the nearby snowman. However, it could not support his weight, and he collapsed while still grasping on the button.
Huh? That means Mr. Cameron was near the snowman when he was attacked?
Indeed. At the very least, he must have been within arm's reach. However, it's quite clear that he would not have been able to reach it from his current position.
But Mr. Cameron's footprints only lead toward the flower bed.
Can we be certain that those footprints really are Mr. Cameron's? It seems we'll need to investigate them one more time.
Understood. I'll recreate the time the body was discovered one more time. These footprints should match up with Mr. Cameron's shoes, right?
Let's inspect them again. These footprints, are they really Mr. Cameron's?
They're from size 11 shoes, and these huge footprints match up with Mr. Cameron's shoes. No matter how you look at it, they're moving steadily towards the center of the flower beds.
When Mr. Cameron was attacked, he grabbed the button from the snowman.
Even with a Great Beast peak human conditioning, your arm can't just stretch that far. Let alone an ordinary civilian, it'd be completely impossible.
The footprints come from the shoes worn by the victim. Just as the case will say. However, does that mean Mr. Cameron was the owner of these shoes? We should re-examine Mr. Cameron's shoes. These shoes should match the footprints, however... These shoes. It seems they were not the ones originally worn by the victim.
What do you mean?
If you look closely, you'll see the laces were tied up strangely, and the size doesn't seem to fit quite right either.
That would mean these huge footprints leading to the victim's feet.
Were most likely made by someone other than the victim.
So then, the footprints leading to and from the victim must be Mr. Cameron's.
No, not necessarily. They seem a little too small to be the victim's footprints.
So none of the footprints are his? Then, which way did Mr. Cameron walk from?
It's quite simple. The victim did not walk here on his own accord, but rather, he was carried here after he was murdered by the culprit. The question now becomes, where was he killed and carried from? Perhaps it was near the snowman after all.
Huh? There's a brick missing here.
Ah, there we go, thank God. The rest are all in order. It's strange that only this one is missing. Okay, here we go. Looking brick. Missing brick. Perhaps the missing brick was the one used as the murder weapon.
Ah, yeah, it seems to be just the right size to fit in that gap perfectly.
Now we can do body was moved, brick near the snowman. There we go. As I thought, it seems the murder actually occurred near the snowman.
Both the button Mr. Cameron was holding and the murder weapon came from there.
Indeed. Also, we assume that the killer picked the brick near the snowman, and then tried to sneak up behind Mr. Cameron.
Oh, Cameron totally would have seen the person picking up the brick.
Exactly. Kay, please update the recreation. Mr. Cameron was not in the middle of the flower beds, but near the snowman.
Okay, I'm on it. No matter how you look at it, this is strange.
All the people involved in the case are gathered in the same place.
Did we make a mistake here or something?
One piece of evidence this recreation is based on is odd. If I had to choose which piece of evidence is fake, which piece of evidence is likely to be fake? Probably the photo. I think it was faked all along. Was this photo really taken by Mr. Cameron?
Huh? What do you mean?
We have proven that whoever killed Mr. Cameron also moved the body. For what reason would they have to deliberately move his body? Perhaps the culprit wanted to falsify the scene that Mr. Cameron witnessed.
And that's why they took a fake photo?
They made the president stand under the streetlight and took a photo with Cameron's camera. It would have been quite simple.
Now that you mention it, Mr. Cameron's camera only had one photo on it, right?
Indeed, in all likelihood, the original roll of film had been removed from the camera. And after loading a new roll of film into the camera, the fake photo was taken.
I see. So this photo must have been taken after Mr. Cameron was killed, right?
Exactly. This was not the scene Mr. Cameron actually witnessed. It's likely this photo is forged evidence.
Then where did Mr. Cameron witness the president and his kidnappers?
The photo isn't the only piece of evidence that indicates what Mr. Cameron witnessed.
The testimony you left on the answering machine.
Precisely. We should listen to the recording one more time and confirm what was said. Where else could the president and his kidnappers have been? Wait, I didn't have a chance. Oh. There we go. Mr. Cameron said this on the answering machine. The light just went off, and I can barely see a thing now. There are only 2 places here where the lights are broken.
The light by the orphanage.
Okay, could you please update the recreation?
Roger.
This is so the kidnapper was near the orphanage.
Indeed. With this, we've shown the connection between the orphanage and the kidnapping.
So that's why they moved the body and took a fake photo, to create false testimony, in order to remove any suspicion towards the orphanage in court.
With this, the state of the recreation has changed completely. The time the body was discovered seen has probably been greatly impacted as a result.
Let's go check it out right away. Preparations are ready.
Since the state of the recreation has changed once again, I should press the Y button and select Change Recreation. Let's give it a try. The blood splattered above the snow. There certainly was a substantial amount. It's almost as if the murder was actually committed here.
Then Mr. Cameron should have been attacked near the snowman.
Exactly. In that case, this blood must belong to someone else.
What? But the police report said that this was Mr. Cameron's blood.
The one in charge of this case was Blaze the Best. It would have been simple for him to falsify that information.
But wouldn't it be faster to just clean up the bloodstains rather than falsify the information?
He wouldn't have been able to do that. Think about it. Blaze knew that Mr. Cameron's body would be discovered here, in which case the forensic department would naturally become involved.
A luminol reaction. They would have discovered it with the power of science.
Precisely. It would have been difficult to completely erase all traces of the blood. However, falsifying the results of a blood test would be much easier in comparison. He would just have to switch the results from the forensic reports.
Oh, what a bummer. Knowing those documents I read were falsified. Looks like Mr. Cameron's clothes were completely soaked in blood.
The blood scattered here and gone onto Cameron's clothes. That would mean, at the time, the bloodstains here had not dried up yet.
I see, so then this certain somebody's blood was splattered here just a short while before Mr. Cameron was murdered?
Indeed, that's exactly right. However, if that's the case, a new contradiction arises in this recreation. This is a clear contradiction.
Huh? You mean this bloodstain?
Do you see how this bloodstain is broken up by the remains of the fire? This is proof that the fire occurred after the blood had scattered around the area.
Huh? But I thought the fire occurred before the murder.
It seems that information is suspect as well. The fire had broken out after the murder.
And the child who started the fire should have seen the body and the bloodstains.
Why then did they not come forward as a witness? It's likely that would have put Blaze at a great disadvantage.
Guess we'll need to investigate this fire in more detail. Hey you!
Yes, sir!
There should be some records of the fire in the police department under a different case file. I want you to bring me every last investigation report about the fire.
Understood, Shifu.
Oh, and one more thing.
What is it, sir?
Contact the House of Lang in Zhangfa.
There should be evidence from this case in my old man's room.
What do you mean?
I just remembered. Why, I recognize this scene. A long time ago, I saw a picture of my old man's room. There was a drawing resembling this scene.
What did you say?
However, I think it looked like something a child drew.
A child? Then the artist may have been the culprit behind the fire.
It should still be somewhere in my old man's room. Have them send it over here.
Understood, sir. Wait, what? Oh. I didn't expect that to work, but okay. If we suppose that Blaze was one of the kidnappers, it becomes more likely that what he dug up yesterday is connected to the abduction.
Ah!
What is it?
I figured it out. It was treasure. Treasure! Couldn't Blaze have dug up the ransom money?
$100 million ransom. Buried in the ground until the heat had died out. It's certainly possible.
I know, right?
Okay. Investigation complete. Holy crap, we are still going with this. Shifu, I'm back! I brought the info on the fire the kids started and a photo of the drawing in your father's office. And also,
I've been waiting for this. Hurry up and hand him over.
the information held by Agent Lang's father. That's Dogen, isn't it? Oh.
This is it. This is exactly what I remembered.
This was the picture drawn by the child, depicting the night of the incident.
Sure looks like it was drawn with the child's touch.
As I thought, the one who drew this is most likely the child who started the fire. Shifu!
What now? Sorry, but it's gonna have to wait. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Why do you think my old man had this?
Perhaps he obtained it during the course of his investigation into the incident. Although, I don't know why he would have concealed it. Agent Lang, might I be able to see the details of the fire?
Yeah, sure.
Allow me to read it post-haste. The boy who started the fire snuck out of bed on the night of the incident. Seems this boy went missing several days later.
What? Don't tell me that he witnessed something he shouldn't have.
That's horrible. He was only a child after all.
Oh. Is this gonna be Isaac Dover's child? Because he went missing, didn't he? Because that case still hasn't connected to anything yet. I've been wondering about that. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Wait, actually, I still have the IS-7 documents. Victim Isaac Dover, see? See, yeah, there are no clues to whereabouts of Dover's son. I think that's gonna be it. This kid is Dover's son, isn't it?
That's horrible. He was only a child after all.
I'd hate for that to be the case. We can't rule out the possibility entirely.
Huh? Apparently, the boy left some stuff behind at the orphanage, and it was taken as evidence. What's this?
What? What's that doing here?
Mr. Prosecutor, do you recognize this?
Yes, I know one piece of evidence that's related to it. Why do you have it? What? Was Isaac Dover gonna turn out to be the actual president all along? Oh, that'd be funny. I thought I understood this case. I don't know what it's doing here. But isn't that the missing horn from this Mozilla doll?
No way. You mean this came off the president's?
You know of it?
Yeah, I've noticed the president kept it close as a decoration. I always thought it was strange how one of the horns was missing.
If you twist the horn, this doll will play back any previously recorded audio.
So if we put the missing horn back in place, we might be able to hear a different recording.
Indeed, it is possible. The doll is currently on the 51st floor of the Grand Tower.
Hey, you!
You heard that, right?
Yes, sir. I'll be right back.
Uh-oh.
Shifu, I've got it. Okay. My name is Illadol.
Well done. Give it to the prosecutor over there.
I'm not really a prosecutor, but whatever. If we insert this horn found at the orphanage into the doll.
It's a perfect fit. Well, can you hear anything?
Amy? I don't think we know any Amy's.
Mr. Huang, it's Amy. It's been a while. I saw the news that you would be coming to this country. I was really nervous about doing this, but I decided to send you a message. Please stop the playback.
Judge Courtney.
What's wrong? Stop it, now! It's a boy.
Oh. This is her, isn't it? That's what I was thinking. I was thinking that they were probably a couple because she said something earlier that I forget what it was, but it struck me.
Your son, he's just been born. I'm sorry, that's all I wanted to tell you. His name is John. John Marsh. It's a fine name for him, don't you think? Ah!
Marsh.
Did she say John?
I'll be waiting in the courtyard of the orphanage at midnight on February 9th. Even if it's just once. I want John to be able to meet you. I'm sorry if I'm being selfish, but I'll be waiting.
Oh, snapperdoodles.
No way. That was my...
John.
What's the meaning of this, Miss Courtney?
John is not my biological son.
Oh. Oh, okay. Never mind.
He's adopted.
Did John know about this?
Of course he knew. John's mother, Amy Marsh, passed away about 5 years ago. She and I were cousins.
Oh.
Since we were young, we've always been really close. We're often mistaken for sisters. That's why when she passed away, I thought it was only natural that I look after John. Also, there were circumstances which prevented me from revealing his father's identity. I never even told John his father's name.
Now it's all been revealed, thanks to the recording on that doll. Did John's mother send the doll to the president?
Hey, John, was he, the president, really my dad? Yes, he was. Before you were born, Amy worked as a diplomat in ZachSongZ.
A diplomat, so that must be how she became acquainted with President Huang.
Hang on, didn't you just tell me she worked at the orphanage?
Yes, after returning to this country, Amy left her job as a diplomat. She always had great passion for charity work, so she began working at the orphanage.
Uh-oh. Hey, Miss Courtney. So this Amy girl, she called the president there herself, but she never showed up at the scene of the SS-5 incident. What's with that?
Amy couldn't make it. Apparently, someone had been following her the whole night.
Perhaps it was Blaze. I can't say for certain, but it's possible that it was his doing.
After that, Amy never got another chance to see the president again.
So she died 5 years ago. This conversation must be painful for John.
All right. Hey, John, you thirsty? How about I buy us both some juice? We can go together.
I'm part of this too. I'll listen until the end. Besides, I can afford to buy my own juice.
Oh, shot down by a kid. John, do you understand the reason I met with the president 2 days ago?
A secret meeting from 2 nights ago.
I wanted to tell him about Amy's death and that you were alive and well.
But I
see. That's why you couldn't tell us your reasons for meeting with the president until now.
I get it. She would have had to reveal his connection with John. I brought a bouquet of lion lilies so that he would understand I truly did know about Amy. Those flowers are a dear memory to the president and Amy. The first present she received from the president was a bouquet of lion lilies. But now, even he has passed away. If only he were still alive. Perhaps I could have introduced him to John.
Shifu! I'm sorry to interrupt this atmosphere, but there's something I need to say.
Oh, what is it now? Can't this wait?
Well, actually, there's one last item that's been delivered here from ZachSongZ. I have here the President's will.
What?
President's will? My old man received a great number of special medals from the President himself. As a token of his trust, the President left his will in the protection of the Lang clan. Those medals in that will, they were the pride of our clan, our family treasure, so to speak.
This is...
Agent Lang, does that will have something to do with the current case?
You bet it does. It says here, I hereby acknowledge John Marsh as my own son.
What? John's name is in the president's will?
Are you certain that was written by the President?
Yeah, he entrusted it to the Lang clan even before the SS-5 incident took place. I'll have to appraise it back home, but by the name of the Lang clan, this is the real deal.
Dijon Huang was the president of an entire nation. The existence of his son would have caused considerable controversy. However, he left behind a will, just in case.
This makes it doubly sure. I still can't believe myself, but there's no room for doubt. John Marsh, you are the son of Dijon Huang, president of ZachSongZ.
John!
John! That was me. To be continued. Thank God, I've had pizza here for like 20 minutes. And I haven't eaten any of it, so that's nice. Alright, well, I'm going to end today's episode here for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. If you're going to see more of this awesome game, playing it till the end as always. Things are really heating up. Stuff is pretty crazy. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Peace out!